Welcome to Birthing Purpose with Lana. Today I have for you Keisha Wilkins, Kee Kauna. She also goes by that name. She is an artist relations specialist who created Visionary Entertainment, and some of the things that she does: celebrity bookings, promotions, marketing, VIPs, collaborations, and so much more. And we'll get into it. I wanted to talk today about how she birthed her purpose of becoming um, an agent, a booking agent, an artist specialist, everything that she does. Like, how did she know that this is what she was called to do? And we want to get into that. We want to talk a little bit about her family lineage, the birthing pains to being in this industry.
Yeah,
We want to talk about
reality.
some things she had to stop doing if she wanted to not abort this baby. And we want to talk about some things you need to do if you want to be an agent to the stars. And then the next chapter for Visionary Entertainment. So thank you for being here today, Keisha.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's just cut right to it. How did you know I want to be a celebrity booking agent, artist relations specialist, marketing, promotions, everything? How did you know you wanted to be in the industry?
Well, you know what? Okay, first of all, I'm a dancer first. Okay, so modern dance, drill team, cheerleading, anything to do with dance, praise dancing, God and done it all. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay,
music and dancing has always been a part of me since I can remember. As a teenager, I was already going to all the awards. I was already, a lot of my friends have danced with Michael Jackson, Madonna, just different, Brooke Payne taught us how to do New Edition's routine. We used to imitate New Edition back in the day.
mhm,
So Brooke taught us how to do their routine,
okay,
once,
yeah.
So, I've hung around, I've been around, So music's always been, my go-to when I'm going through things growing up, going through traumas. I've always gone back to music. So
You see, I'm in the music
naturally,
studio. I had to bring the music studio for you. I had
I
to
love
give you,
it.
I had to give you that music studio vibe. I'm like,
Give me that vibe, girl. A whole mood. Okay. I love
yes,
it.
yes,
No, seriously. Yeah. So, after getting burned, I mean, it was natural just to go back to what I loved,
music.
what feeds me. Yeah. It actually, after I got burned, I used to get up every morning and my baby was in elementary at the time. And so I would have to get him ready for school and I'm looking like Freddy Krueger. So I turn on the radio and
Mm,
I listened to Jeff and Evelyn. They were on the 99.1, a radio station out here, a real big radio station.
California.
And so I'd listen to their morning show.
Mhm.
I'd call in and they'd allow me to talk and speak on air. Then
Mm,
I tell them, I'm a burn survivor. They play the music that I love, at that time. Back then, I think it was like Monica and Ludacris, I'm Still Standing. So
mm,
they play it for me. That would pump me up to get out of that,
mm.
depression, to
Yeah,
get my son ready, to get him ready for school, to get him out to the bus stop, and to deal with the kids staring at me looking like Freddy Krueger. You
mm,
know, it got me out of that. And so naturally, music and dancing and just being around music is what pumped me up.
mm. And so you wanted to give back to the artists. You want to now get around these artists
Girl.
that you listen to, and you want to help them and connect with them because you
Well,
felt
the
like
thing
they were.
is that out of all the traumas that I've been through, there's always music out during that time that helped pull me through. So
Mm,
when I was getting raped, music, abused, music,
mm,
Mary J, you
mm,
know, uh,
mhm,
Monica when I got burned.
mhm.
I mean, all these old school artists are the ones that helped me pull through. So it
Right,
was like the music of the back in the day is what I would play in order to get my mood right.
right, right. That's what people
So
do.
naturally,
Yeah. So you say, okay, I'm ready to get into the industry now. What are your steps? What do you do?
Well, I didn't even say that to myself. Really, I didn't. It was like, my son was in high school. I had just got burned. I was talking to a few of my old school, my friends that were in the industry still, like Alan McNeil from Truth. I started talking to Alan a lot. I connected with people back on Facebook.
Okay.
So once I got on Facebook, I started connecting back with my old tribe. So I would talk to Alan all the time. And then I went to go see Troop perform. I started going to see Keisha Cole perform, just different artists perform. And that brought that love back. Then I started doing A&R for an independent record label, Zenobia Records. And once I did A&R for Zenobia, and I started working with the artists that were signed to that label. Then opening for like DJ Quick and Dog Pound and Bone Thugs. Once I did that, there was no turning back. It was like I fell in love with it again. I
Wow.
fell in love with the industry again.
Industry. So let's talk. Okay, so what made you fall out of love with the industry?
Well, it wasn't that I fell out of love. Is when so I used to, like I said, I was dancing. My girl was actually dating Ronnie's cousin, Ronnie DeVoe's cousin, and she was
Ronnie
living with
DeVoe from New
Ronnie's.
Edition.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
She was living with Jason, which is Ronnie's cousin, and she was living with Brooke at the time, Brooke Payne, which is his uncle. So I would go over there all the time. Well, at the time, Brooke was managing Johnny Gill.
Okay.
And so I was going to try out to be a backup dancer for Johnny.
Okay.
And then shortly after, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So once I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, what can I do? I'm going to have my baby.
Right.
So I never looked back. I just started having kids and started
Okay.
going through all kind of trials and all kind of tribulations. And then we talking all kind of mess, girl. I got 3 babies by 3 different daddies. So I went through all kind of stuff.
Right.
So, I gave up the life. I gave up my walk. I gave up the life and I never turned back. Like my gifts stayed dormant. And once I got burned, then I had to fall in love with me again and figure out where that gift went and what that gift was. Because it's been
Right.
a long time.
Right.
So once I went back to that, it was music and dancing.
So
That was it.
yeah, so let's get into restricted activities because we know that when women are pregnant, there are things they have to cut out. They cannot do as you will abort your baby. So it sounds like there were some things that you were doing that was trying to abort your purpose and your heart's desire. So let's talk about some of the things you had to stop doing in order to walk again into what you felt God has called you to do.
Well, one of the things I had to stop doing was people pleasing. I learned to be a people pleaser at a very young age and put myself last. I always put everybody first and put myself last. So in this industry, I found that being a people pleaser is not the best thing because people take advantage.
Right.
So you gotta pretty watch who you're around. So you've gotta know people's intentions, which was difficult at first. And it still gets difficult because I really I love hard and I want everybody to win. It's just who I am.
Right.
So, but those were some things that I did have to learn, stop being a people pleaser and stop putting myself last.
And
Uh,
settling.
oh yeah, settling.
Woo!
Absolutely.
I'm
Because,
talking I'm talking to myself.
settling. That's true. Very much so. But it didn't do well for me in the beginning of being a people pleaser because people would get me for my money. I do all kind of free work. And that's not what I was in it for.
Right.
I don't mind doing free work. Don't get me wrong, because I love what I do.
Right.
So I would do it for free because it's my purpose. I love doing it.
Right.
But if you tell me that you're gonna pay me, I'm waiting on for that pay. I'm dependent on that pay. and then you don't come through. So that was really difficult for me, very difficult, because I'm about my word,
Right.
about people's word. My dad always said a man is nothing but his word,
So you had to cut
So,
out people pleasing.
girl,
Anything else?
people pleasing and trusting too quickly. You know, I'd always I'm big on family. I'm big on just spreading love, and just treating people the way you want to be treated.
Right. Right.
And a lot of people in this world aren't like that. So I had to learn that not everybody's intentions are pure. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah. My
which
my
was difficult.
yeah. My coach told me stop jumping into things head on. Sit back, watch people,
So hard.
watch first and learn, and then and assess things
Then react.
and move forward. But
Yeah.
get all gung ho and jump
So
in things.
excited. You're so excited. You don't, yeah. You just jump
And
all in.
yeah, and this scripture that just sticks with me. There's a way that seems right that leads to destruction. And so
Mm.
I'm like, okay, Lord, is this a way that seems right that leads to destruction, leads to death? Because we
Wow.
can be tricked. Everything that glitters is not gold. So now
Oh
it's like,
yeah.
okay, wait, I'm all gung ho and excited about this. Is this you or is this destruction? Is this death?
Yeah.
I don't want to be tricked. I've got too much to lose. You know what I'm saying? We got too much to lose to
Girl.
keep getting tricked and things like that. So you said one of the things you talked about was family, how family was really important to you, and community and things like that. Let's talk a little bit about your family, because I think
Mhm.
that they were very instrumental in getting you into your purpose, and that's what we need. These are what we call labor room assistants, people that come along and help get you help birth your baby. So let's talk about your family.
Now, listen, believe it or not, I didn't even know. I didn't know. Listen, okay, so it wasn't until after I launched my company.
Okay.
And I was already working with certain artists in the industry, like Crazy Bone, and I had already booked, Corrupt, and booked, Men at Large, and different groups I had booked and worked with, And my mom, after coronavirus and everything, hits me up, and we start talking about the family. This is when I find out my grandpa was a writer. I knew my grandpa owned venues, but I didn't know he was a writer.
Mm.
I didn't know he booked Johnny Guitar Watson until I started to book Fillmore Slim. Once I started to book Fillmore, then Fillmore started telling me about my grandpa's venue and how he used to book Fillmore and Johnny Guitar Watson.
Okay.
I didn't know about my uncle, used to Bill Bray used to be a bodyguard for Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
Michael looked at him like a father figure. He was married to my aunt Juanita, which is my grandpa's sister.
Mhm.
My cousin Jamel was Eazy-E's bodyguard.
Mhm.
My cousin Shamika was in the industry. My cousin is Professor Funk, was with Montel Jordan for 25 years. Tamia, how did you get here? No, not Tamia, how did you get Stranger in My House, Tamia, how did you get here, Deborah Cox?
Mhm.
That's my cousin, Yolanda Adams, Kelly Price. He's worked with everybody. My other cousins with Snoop, I mean, the list goes on, of, singers, artists, or bodyguards that are within my family. My aunt, Flossie, was very big in gospel, very, very big in gospel, traveled the world. I had no idea until after I launched my company. Then my mom's like, okay, let me tell you about a family. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
But
wow.
I was 20 years of isolation, raising my kids. She didn't think I was going to step back in the industry. So I guess when the time came for her where
Mhm.
I needed to know, she let
Mm.
me know.
Mm. Mm.
Mhm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And so that's one of the things I was reading of how to become a celebrity booking agency. And one of the things they said is you need to um, grow your network. So
Mhm.
you've got a good network so
Well,
far.
girl, I love networking. So
Oh,
I love it,
yeah,
girl.
you
Like
got to grow
second
your
nature, I love it.
yeah. So you got to grow your network. They talked about
Hmm.
taking talent agent courses, doing internships, calling agencies, marketing yourself, and then applying for positions. And
I didn't do that though.
but when you got favor of the Lord as yourself, as you do, a lot of
Well,
stuff
God is good.
you don't half the stuff you haven't even done. You but that
No,
networking.
yeah, I'm more hands on. So I did the network part. I was A&R for Zenobia Records for a short period, which is an independent record label. So Sean B did mentor me a little bit,
We had your
and
mentoring.
she's the
Okay.
one. Yeah, she's the one that suggested that I do booking.
Okay.
She was like, you should think about that.
Okay.
But honestly, promotions is what really drives me.
Okay.
Anything to do with street team, old school, because all my friends that I went to high school with, you got Doc Clark that he's manages Next. We grew up together. Street team is like in our blood. We were always around grooving, creepers, back in the day dancing. You got Ricky Waters, he was with the old school mixed down with KJLH for many, many years, 20 some odd years. And they were doing street team while I was shut down to the world. So I'm watching this. So of course, that's just like I want to do what they're doing because it just feeds my spirit. But from the very early age, like I can remember elementary school, for my church, we used to give plays and things. So
Mhm.
we always did street team. We go around the neighborhood putting flyers in everybody's mailbox.
Mhm.
That's just what we did. So street team has always been me. So I'm all about the promotions.
Right. Right.
So and the reason why I'm so passionate about working with these musicians and artists because they help save my life with their music. So, promoting them, it's a win-win for me. Marketing them, it's a win-win.
Right.
Booking them, it's a win-win. I'm working with people that God used to help save my life.
Right. Right. So let's talk about God. Um, because I think sometimes we get off path, right?
Mhm.
And he has to kind of reel us in.
Mhm.
Mhm. And so God's like, I'll
Yeah.
have no other idol. You will have no
Well,
other idol. I'm
listen.
it. I'm number one.
Listen, I had to even in this industry, I had to shut myself down. I had to go celibate once again and focus on my relationship with God and
Mm,
focus on my company and what my company stands for, which is my family's name. I
mm,
had to do that. I had to, really ask God, like, what is it that you want me to do? And I don't care what people think. Judge people are gonna have judgment. People are gonna think what they want to think. I'm doing God's will. I know what God brought me through. I know when I dance, I know I'm praising him. I know in every movement that's nothing but God, girl. When I say I've been on every medication that there is, they had me on every medication that there is. They
right.
had me thinking I'd be on medication in pain for the rest of my life. Well,
Me-
God said different. I'm able to dance.
mhm,
I never thought I can dance again.
mm,
Never thought I would be praise dancing. My girl Marcia, she's the one that started me.
mm,
2017, she called I met her on my way to therapy. She's my Uber driver or Lyft driver. She's
mhm,
giving me a ride to my therapy.
mhm.
Or giving me a ride home from my therapy. And she tells me, come to my Motown review. I'm a singer. And I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, I used to sing with Soul to Soul. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, come, and she gives me her card and her phone number. Well, we became friends. We started talking and she invited me to be a dancer for one song to her singing Orange Moon.
Mm,
Erica Badu's Orange Moon.
mhm,
And I really like connected with that song. And her and two of the girls from the Raylettes,
mm.
Ray Charles's girls,
Of course.
sang. And so once I danced for that Motown review with them doing that one song, that was it. I knew that God was all in the midst of that, the whole thing that I was going to step into. And this is years before I even launched my company. But I knew that he had something in store for me, you know?
Wow. Yes. So what is the next chapter for Visionary Entertainment? What do we
Well,
see?
okay.
What's going on?
I've done a lot of festivals, a lot of shows, and a lot of promoting for other people's events that I partnered with. Well, now it's time for Visionary to step out on my own, step on its own. I'm going to be giving an event on February the 13th for Valentine's at my boys' club venue. It's Raquel's in Rialto, California. And he's been doing it, they've been there for like a decade, and he's got great connects within the industry. He's given great shows, and it's always popping there. So I'm going to give a Valentine's show. I'm going to have Jay Chosen from The Voice sing, coming out. I'm going to have Cosmo. He's a comedian. He was with Def Jam and Comic View. He's going to be the host, and we're going to start there. Tim's going to back me, the owner, and his team are going to back me in this. I am looking for sponsors, though. I am looking for investors as well.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing that. And then we're going to be stepping into doing bigger shows after that. That'll be my first taste of doing it by myself. And then I'm going to step into bigger shows where we'll work with major artists, where I'll get Home Depot, because I worked for Home Depot for decades prior to being burned.
Right.
So I will get Home Depot to back me. I've already talked to them, so that they'll bring in some financing, and we'll do bigger festivals and bring awareness to mental health, bring awareness to post-traumatic stress, how to overcome. I will bring some information and some therapists in about EMDR therapy and how to overcome it without being put on medication, and then Christian therapy or Baptist, believers that'll come in and speak, where we can get some people some healing, suicide prevention, all the stuff that I've gone through and overcame. I'm bringing awareness through that, and bring the music in where we can bring some healing that way. Just all the tools that God used to help me get through, I'm pulling it all together so I can help some other people and bring some much needed God's love, within this industry.
Awesome. You guys, Keisha has been through so much. When I tell you, we can't even, the stories, she got stories for days about so many things that's happened in the industry. I'm like, you got to write a book. Her documentary, you'll be just like this.
Yeah.
And they what? And they did what? And then what happened? And what? And oh my God. Like, and I cannot wait for your book to come out, documentary, something, because it is a lot of nuggets, a lot of things to learn. So I'm excited for what's to come. Definitely.
Yeah, you know what? Let me just say this. There are some great musicians and artists out here that have really truly had my back in this, like really been there. And just even if they just spoke words into my life, like Jackie McGee from she sang with Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever. She's the voice. Man, that girl, she's anointed. And then we got Dave from Rough Ends. Oh my God, he's amazing. I spoke to him, and he spoke, talked me through, you know what I mean? So we got some great ones. I mean, Troop, you got John, you got Steve, you got Alan, Rodney. These are great guys that help speak me through some of these trials, within this industry. So, and Crazy Bone, Cray, he's amazing man. So I've been very blessed to work with some great musicians and artists, and been blessed to have a lot of them, speak me through and help guide me,
Right. So I know that you were talking about working with talent outside of California. That's something that you want to do in the future as well. So if someone is looking for a booking agent, how would they reach you?
Okay, you can catch me. Well, you can email me at V as in Victor, E as in Edward, bookings 333 at Gmail. Or you can catch me on IG as I am just Kee 333 or officially Visionary. Those are my pages, or you can get me at Kee Kauna, Kauna, or Kau. Wait, I can't even spell my name. Kauna, Kee Kee Kauna on Facebook. I'm barely, you guys. I hated my middle name growing up, but I'm barely taking a hold of it and taking it for what it is. Kawana means love. I used to hate that name, so I'm just grasping it and just taking control and accepting it and loving it now.
You didn't even hate it, and you didn't even know it meant love. And then
No,
soon,
I didn't even know, Lana. I didn't even know.
and then soon
Ooh.
you heard it meant love. You're like, I love it. I love it.
And I'm always, I am love, I am love. You know, in this industry, like for real, like I just want to spread love and out with the hate, you know,
Mhm.
out with the hate, because you know, love is what we need.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love and God in this industry, because you
Well,
definitely
God is
provide.
love. Come
God
on
is
now.
love, and that discernment gift, that discern. Listen,
Deep. And
listen.
God lives within each one of us, you guys. God lives within each one of us. So God can shine through each one of us. You know, just stay in alignment, frequency, stay in alignment.
Well, thank you for taking time out your busy schedule to come talk to me in my studio. No.
Thank you. It's nice to have vibes in the studio.
Yes, all right. And I know that we'll be doing some things in the future together.
Yeah.
It's all about collaborations, right?
All about the collabs, you guys. All about teamwork makes the dream work.
Say that again.
Teamwork makes the dream work. I've been saying this for years and years, and my boy Justified, another one of my partners, he says that too. So it's in alignment. Teamwork makes the dream work.
That. Well, all right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll be talking soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Dance, dance,
Bye.
dance for 'em. You like to dance.
Ow.
Uh, uh,
I need some music. Hey,
Look,
hey,
I
count.
know.